Can you use AI to install Ubuntu from BIOS? In our last video, we walked through using AI to hook up to your Proxmox and how to use it to create containers. But what about virtual machines? Well, this is part 2 of that video where we kind of walk through how to use AI to manage virtual machines in Proxmox, a couple different ways you could go about it. When attempting to connect your AI to different Proxmox nodes or other just virtual infrastructure in general, you have a couple different ways. The first is SSH. The second is serial terminal, depending on where you're running your AI. The third is VNC or RDP, and the last is API calls. In the previous video, we went through maybe like the easiest way, which is scripts that the AI helps you write and API calls. If you format this properly, you can use the script as a command line interface to interact with the API and do the functions you need. And then you can use the API to limit permissions. In our previous video, we did exactly that. We got open code spun up, and then we used a skill that I made available on GitHub to make API calls and to spin up a Linux container, right? These API calls are going to Proxmox host, so lets the AI effectively spin up its own virtual infrastructure. We're in exciting times, we're in the future here. API calls, SSH sessions, even serial terminal sessions all have one limitation. And that limitation is that the machine, generally speaking, has to be booted to the operating system for the AI to manage it. What if you wanted to manage the AI before the operating system? What if you needed to do an emergency recovery? What if you needed to install from BIOS? I thought about it, and it turns out I couldn't find an easy solution, so I just built one. Right? I already had the Proxmox script, and I already was using something like this to manage GNS3 guests. And I figured rolling it out to the Proxmox would be pretty easy. It took a couple days, but we got it working. Let's dive deep into this. We're going to be using VNC console to install Ubuntu from before the BIOS. And we, meaning I'm going to get AI to do it, right? And we're not going to be using ChatGPT. We're not going to be using Claude. We're broke here at Low Spec Labs. We're going to be using the Chinese models. We're going to be using Kimi K2.7. Let's talk about the architecture for this before proceeding. This test is not to see is can AI run commands on a remote server. We already know that if we give AI SSH access, it can get stuff installed. It can configure services. It can troubleshoot network issues. It can do lots of stuff depending on the context you feed into it and how smart the model is. The question is, what do we do before we get to a point where the OS is interactive? What if we have an issue at the BIOS screen, the boot menu? What if we want AI to install stuff for us? We don't want to do the install. We're that lazy. We can't even be bothering installing Linux or Windows. We want the AI to do it. What if we have no network, no shell, and no agent? This skill is for you. Normal AI automation assumes that the box is already manageable. SSH is up. The API exists. The agent is installed. Network is configured. There's some way for the AI to reach the command line. What if you have a fresh install and you want AI to configure it? What if you have blank disks? What if you have an installer menu? What if you have to use a keyboard and mouse to get things going? What if you have to wait long periods of time for the install to happen and for reboots to occur? I got you. I've already solved these problems, boys. These are all issues. I wouldn't bring an issue to your attention if I didn't already have a solution. Now, my solution is the right environment. In our previous video, we talked about your AI environment and how if you created your AI environment properly, even the dumbest models could achieve a lot. Well, Kimi K 2.7 isn't a dumb model, but it's definitely not like number one. But it's top 5, it's up there. And you'll see why I consider it up there in just a few minutes. But my solution was to create a Python script. That Python script puts the model inside of a loop. Let's talk about that loop. This is the loop that the model will be entering inside of this video. It is Read-Eval-Type-Repeat. So my Python script calls a programmatic VNC session. It takes screenshots of that VNC session. and does some CPU old school style image recognition to tag the boundary boxes of UI elements. It then takes that tagged image and sends it to the AI, as well as some other context information. The AI reads that screenshot, reasons over the screenshot, uses the same script to send keyboard inputs, waits, takes another screenshot, and repeats. Does it work? I wouldn't even be bothering making this video if it didn't work. I can't brag about how cool AI is if the technology doesn't work. Duh. Of course, come on, guys. Come on. So again, in this loop, the AI agent gets a VNC screenshots, mouse clicks, it gets keyboard inputs, it gets a goal and guardrails in the form of the script, the agents.md, and the prompt we give it. And then, of course, it gets some optional OCR/vision feedback. There are some open source Python libraries that you can use to tag UI elements, and we'll be taking advantage of that here. The agent does not get SSH access. You know, the VM is not even going to be at that point. It does not get pre-seed or auto-install, so no cloud in it. We're not going to be using the Proxmox API. I am not going to be stepping in, and it is not going to be using hidden terminal commands. Here is the folder layout, and let's walk through it real quick. Again, this skill is just a script, an agents.md, and a readme.md for humans. Something to note is that we have a Proxmox CLI.py and a Proxmox console.py. These two scripts are basically running the show, right? Proxmox CLI is going to get the information we need for us to make the console connection, and then console.py is going to be how the model interacts and gets the VM up and running. It's going to dump screenshots and logs into the logs folder. I've seen lots of different videos on YouTube where people talk about prompt management or agent management or prompt engineering or loop engineering. All of that kind of distills down to the same idea, and that is getting the right context to the model for it to achieve whatever job you want it to achieve, aka building the right environment. Building your environment correctly builds your loop. And building the environment doesn't have to be complicated. You want to keep it simple by default and let the model reason freely, right? The models, the premier tier models are very intelligent. They're really good at computer usage and solving programmatic problems. So you want to set them up to where set things up to where they have the context they need with as little effort as possible. And then the rest of their effort can be spent reasoning. Let's go ahead and do a live demo of this. And yeah, you'll see what I'm talking about. This model is Kimi K 2.7. You're about to watch it over the course of about 30 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Get Proxmox, well, get a Ubuntu ISO fully installed and configured. No human interruption whatsoever, other than the final step where I type in the configured password and confirm things are working as intended. So here's the diagram of the setup. We'll have both OpenCode and the Ubuntu VM running on the same server, and the AI will use the OpenCode skill, and the AI will use our custom skill to connect over VNC to the BIOS session of the Ubuntu VM and get things configured. Let's go ahead and swap on over to that. Over here on Proxmox, we go over to our hardware. You can see we have the Ubuntu ISO connected. We have a fresh 64 gig, a hard drive connected, and we're just going to manually start this. So on our Proxmox console, we have the Ubuntu boot CD ready to go. Cross your fingers, boys. Let's see if Kimi K 2.7 can get this work done. Here is the prompt we are giving the model. Load this Proxmox manager skill. Get the console port for VMID 3001, which is the VMID of our Proxmox virtual machine, and use the VNC console to get the Ubuntu ISO installed on that VM. Login is temp at pass. Then we just kick off the prompt. And something I'd like to keep an eye on is how much token usage this takes. Off the bat, we're up to 7K. I do pay for subscription rate through Kimi, which is very generous. Thank you, Z. And this model is surprisingly performant, but you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's head on over to the console. You'll know things are working because the console session will become inaccessible intermittently. At this point, the only thing I can do is kind of just wait. Over on the open code side of things, you can see it is generating screenshots, which means it's starting to figure out how to navigate that session. And we'll see how well Kimi K 2.5 can get Ubuntu installed unattended. Earlier we talked about how if you built your environment right, the environment itself becomes the loop. The scripts and the guidelines from your agent.md will put the agent naturally in its own loop and let it iterate until it achieves what you want. The Proxmox Manager VNC console does exactly that. It places the agent in a Read-Eval-Type-Repeat loop, and you can see it inside of the output of the agent. All right, if we look at open code, you can see here it reads the JPEG, thinks about what it wants to do, sends the keyboard input, waits for it to get the output as a screenshot, and then repeats. The end result is this, where if I were to refresh the console, let's see, it might still have hold of it. You can see it's already at the Ubuntu install screen. So it managed to figure out its way through the initial install menu, right? You can see it disconnected because the model took control of that console session again. And it's basically trying to figure out its way through the screen. So it takes the screenshot and then it has to figure out how to move the mouse to hit the next button. Something to keep your eye on is that token usage so far has been too bad. It's about 53,000 tokens, right? Right now it is trying to figure out how to move the mouse across the console in order for it to finish the GUI install. Not bad at all. The next challenge, we're going to see if it can recover a broken Debian install, but that's for later. Quick update. Looks like it is now entering a username and password as well as other stuff for the login. So it's making good progress. And we are back. Let's check the progress of this. So it looks like it's finally gotten to the part where it is installing Linux modules, meaning it's getting the kernel installed. So this is good progress from the model so far. We're gonna let it keep turning along and we'll check how much token usage it's burned. So far, about 100K tokens, and it's still in that loop, or it sends a command and it waits, and let's see what it's thinking, or rather what it's guessing once you learn a little bit more about this. So progress is about 70 to 80%, which is pretty good. We'll let it keep running. We'll give it one final task after it does get back to the installer, and that task will be to prep the machine for passwordless auth. And we'll consider that a job well done. We are back and it finished. I'm not going to touch anything. Instead, we're going to have the AI finish the rest of it. I'm going to give it a second prompt. All right. The second prompt is to continue. I did tell it to sleep because it was taking far longer than I anticipated and it was burning tokens just waiting for a response back. So now we're going to tell it to continue. Then log in and enable password SSH, find IP address. So here is the prompt before we kicked it off. Continue, complete restart, confirm password works, then log in and enable password SSH auth, find IP address, copy this host SSH key over the remote, run apt-get update and upgrade after success to confirm SSH works, then make Ubuntu install the MD and report the steps you took to install Ubuntu in that file. All right. So basically finish restarting, configure passwordless SSH authentication, then make a report of everything it did, and that's task complete. So this is basically overtime, boys. It getting just to the restart screen is far more than I expected from this, right? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I knew it was gonna work. I've been playing with it for a couple days now, but the first time it did work without me having to intervene whatsoever blew my mind away. I'm not sure you get the implication here. This isn't just it getting console access to a web interface. This is it getting console access to VNC, right? So that means it has console access to KVM devices, network switches, Dell servers through iDRAC. It has access to actual hardware, and it can enter that read, eval, respond loop until it fixes your problem. It makes the models infinitely more useful. Let's kick off that prompt and then we'll check back in on it. And I'd say another 15 to 30 minutes and it should be done. And we can go from there, boys. And we'll talk about our next video, or we'll talk about using this setup to recover damaged and broken servers when you're too lazy to do the work. And there it goes. We are going to stop here. I think we've hit a limitation of my script. The harness, or rather the model, got as far as getting logged in and getting to the Ubuntu welcome screen, but it never got around to opening up the terminal. I looked at the message logs and it looks like it was struggling with sending special keys through the VNC session. That sounds like a tool issue. Can't blame the model if the keys are not getting sent over the session. But all the same, it did pretty good though. It got as far as installing it and getting to the welcome screen. I can do the terminal stuff later, you know. I just wanted to enable pub key authentication. That'll take me like 5 or 10 minutes. Not that big a deal. I would consider this a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. As you can see, the model's still trying to get it done in the background. Yeah. So what worked and what didn't? Well, the initial goal worked just fine. It booted from the ISO, navigated the installer screen, partitioned and installed Ubuntu, not Debian. I gotta go back and change that. It created a user and host name, and then it rebooted and installed the OS. Issues we ran into: VNC lag. Some issues with the mouse missing. I was reading through some of the turns, and the model was struggling with getting the mouse where it needed to, and it was defaulting the keyboard. So I got to debug that. Focus. Sometimes the model would have issues clicking around the screen and trying to decide what was important and what wasn't. Again, I think that might be tool call issues and OCR issues and how I'm labeling stuff more than anything else. Long install waits. The install time took an hour. That has very much to do with my hardware. I am running this on some old SSDs that I initially bought with the intention to replace when things got better. I initially bought with the intention to replace whenever I had some spare chains laying around, and now SSDs cost a small fortune. So dying SSDs, enjoy. But all the same, it still got it done. And that's it, boys, right? So we just showed how you could use an AI agent and some Python scripts to give a model UI access to troubleshoot issues. Tune into the next video where we'll do stuff like break a Linux VM and see if with our new tool, the model is able to resolve it, right? So all the way from BIOS, can it fix a broken grub install? We find out. And then we'll do further videos like which model does vision loops the best. I'm pretty sure either GPT or Claude's going to win this. I've seen their agentic use benchmarks, and I've seen their vision benchmarks. Top tier. They're still worth it. All the same, though, the Chinese models are pretty decent, boys. Would you believe that only cost me like $20 a month? Crazy, right? If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe either here on YouTube or on TikTok, where I do short form content. And occasionally I post dumb memes. If that's your vibe, tune in. Otherwise, stay blessed, boys. I'll see y'all next time.